Conservative new media viewers, J-Lin fans around the world, what's up? It's me, PFE Paul F. Villarreal, the NBA expert. We're here to discuss the Brooklyn Nets 107-97 victory tonight over the Los Angeles Lakers in Brooklyn, New York. Lakers fall to 10-18 on the season, while Brooklyn improves to 7-17 on the year, including a mark of 6-7 at home. First things first. Woo-hoo. This was a really important win for the team. They really needed to get this win. And there's a couple reasons for that. One, they needed to show themselves that they could get a win without J-Lin. That's one. Number two, they needed to lift up J-Lin because he did not play tonight. Now, just a quick summary on that. After the game, Coach Atkinson said he does not know what happened in terms of why Jeremy's back was tightening up. Jeremy apparently came to the arena a couple hours before the game, was warming up, and it's just his back felt tight. And the decision was made between Jeremy and the performance coaches, which are basically like the staff that manages the players' health. The decision was made, said Coach Atkinson, to rest J-Lin tonight. And I'm 100% for that, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. So those are two reasons. They needed to pick J-Lin up, and they needed to be able to win without him. And the third reason is they needed to continue the momentum that they achieved in the Houston game. Even though they lost that game, there was tremendous amount of encouragement and positivity from that game. So you needed to take that and do something tangible with it. And that's what they were able to do tonight. Tonight basically worked out perfectly because J-Lin was able to rest, yet the team still succeeded and they won. That is huge. That is great. Now, what happened in this game was, for most of this game, it was really ugly. And when I say ugly, I just mean like kind of herky-jerky. There wasn't a real flow to the game. It just wasn't aesthetically pleasing. Teams were missing a lot of shots. There were turnovers. It just didn't have any rhythm to it at all. But then in the fourth quarter, the Nets kind of battened down the hatches. They started making shots, and they got defensive stands when they needed to. And look, the Lakers have talent now, but they're very young, mostly in terms of their core players. And they have a new coach. They've lost 7 games in a row, I think, coming into tonight, and they're just a little bit lost. And it was definitely a good thing for the Nets to be able to get this win and take advantage of a team that's in that situation. As we've said in the last video, other teams have been doing that to Brooklyn the entire season. So now it's finally a little bit of turnabout, and the Nets were able to actually do that to someone else. The reason why the Nets won this game was they got it done in the fourth quarter. They outscored the Lakers by 11 points in the fourth quarter, and it was a 10-point victory. So basically it came down to the fourth quarter. And statistically, it was because they hit more three-pointers than the Lakers did, and they got to the free throw line more than the Lakers did, and they converted more free throws. That's essentially how this game was won. From a statistics perspective, quickly in terms of individual stats, Bojan, Sean Kilpatrick, and Brook Lopez each had 20 points in this game. Brook, 20.7 rebounds. Bogdanovich, 23 points, 4 rebounds. Sean Kilpatrick, 22 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists. Off the bench, Joe Harris had 11 points. Coach Atkinson played 11 men tonight. We said, as players keep coming back and they're healthy, Coach Atkinson's going to play more and more guys. The only 2 players who were active tonight who did not play were Justin Hamilton, who was coming back from the migraine issue, but he was active, and Randy Foye. Jeremy and Chris McCullough did not dress for this game. They were out. And I should also note, Jeremy was not on the sidelines during this game, which, if I had to take a guess, I would say that he was likely getting treatment on his back during the game. Sometimes players will do that. You're at the arena, you can't play, you might as well do physical rehab or treatment if you can do it. That would be my guess about what Jeremy was trying to do. Or he might not have wanted to sit on the bench because of how his back was feeling. I'm not sure. Now, I think I said this already, but I'll repeat it now. What Coach Atkinson said, yes, he doesn't know why Jeremy's back's acting up, but they're going to evaluate Jeremy tomorrow. Here's Jeremy, for the last, 3 or 4 years, has had recurring back issues. The bad news about that is that they can act up whenever. The good news about it is that it's probably not anything major. It's just something that he's got to deal with from time to time. If any of you guys, and you'll know exactly what I mean when I say this, if anybody listening has back issues, you know how this goes, because I've had plenty of back issues. They can come and go. They can be incredibly bad one day, and then you're completely fine the next day. So let's just hope Jeremy will be good to go for the upcoming game on Friday. I will say this also. There were some people that were very upset because Jeremy didn't play. People I'm talking about that wanted to go to the game tonight, or they had tickets, and then they found out Jeremy wasn't going to play, and they were upset. Look, Jeremy's been out for 6 weeks. It's a lot better to rest him for 1 night or 2 nights than have him get hurt when he shouldn't be playing and be out for another 6 weeks. In the last 5 years, Jeremy's been extremely durable. He just had this fluke hamstring this season, and now his back's acting up. Just, let him sit. Let him heal up. Let him rest up. And somebody asked me on Twitter, is the back kind of, can a back injury or back issues be related to the hamstring? Yes, it can. Those two are kind of in the same kinetic chain, if you want to say, on the back side of the body. It's like when you stretch your hamstrings, you're stretching your back. So if that hamstring is tight, or it's not used to doing a lot of work, and all of a sudden Jeremy went out and played a game, like a real game the other day, well, maybe the back just wasn't happy, and it's just not used to doing it because it wasn't doing it for 6 weeks. Could be something as simple as that. We certainly hope everything's okay and that the news will be positive tomorrow. Trust me, I was as frustrated as anybody was. I'm not going to say disappointed because you can't control injuries. I mean, I can't be disappointed in Jeremy because his back acted up. It's not like he had a control over that. But we all wanted to see him back, and we saw what the team was able to do against Houston, and so we wanted to see that continue tonight. But it did continue. It's just Jeremy had to miss the game, and that's okay because the team won. At 7-17, the Nets are currently 5.5 games out of a playoff seeding right now. As we've said, the record doesn't look good. It's obviously they're 10 games under 500, but they're not that far away. Now, I know a lot of people, they're not going to make the playoffs, and this is just a throwaway year. That's probably true. But what I said in the last video, I will repeat now. This isn't over yet. And you do have essentially everybody healthy. The only person who wasn't healthy tonight was JLin. And again, we expect that he will be back relatively soon. Chris McCullough was healthy. He didn't play because I think he played in the D-League earlier today. And I believe you can only dress 13 men. So in other words, you can have 15 on your roster, but you can only dress 13, which means 2 guys don't suit up. Tonight it was Chris McCullough for the D-League and JLin because his back acted up. But as this team gets healthy, gets a little more confidence, gets a little more continuity, gets the injured players like Jeremy and like Karis LeVert kind of up to speed and gets their strength and their conditioning up to speed, they're going to get better. Spencer Dinwiddie, when he gets more used to the team, he's going to get better. So as I said, I think we've already reached the low point of this season and overcome it so long as the team is able to stay relatively healthy. Not only, another thing that's key about a win tonight is that the team needs confidence. And I said this on Twitter, they looked confused or leaderless for long periods of this game. Like they weren't playing with purpose. And sometimes guys just don't know how to win. You're just kind of lacking that killer instinct and kind of a focus. And I will tell you, Jeremy is crucial to the team in that regard. When he is running the show, things look very much different than when he's not around. I'm not saying that to put down anybody else or insinuate anybody else is not a good leader. There are good leaders on the team, like Brooke. But Jeremy's the guy with the ball in his hands. He's an experienced point guard, and he can guide the team in a way that nobody else can currently on the team. And that's why, the team looks completely different when he's not playing. And the television analyst on Yes Network said that tonight. Jim Spanark was like, yeah, when Jeremy was in the Houston game, there was chemistry everywhere, meaning like everything looked in sync, everything looked good. And when he's not in there, it looks choppy. It looks up and down. It looks no flow. Again, I'm not saying this to disparage anybody else, but you're missing a lot when Jeremy doesn't play. And that role is what Jeremy wants to do. He wants to be a leader. He wants to be the guiding force. That's what he's always wanted to be in his career. You can see it in his personality, and now he finally gets to do it. But when he's not around, there's a lack there. There's something missing there. Fortunately, the team was able to overcome that tonight. Look, this is good. A win is a win. Doesn't matter how you got it. Doesn't matter who it was against. None of that matters right now. The key is you're able to rest Jeremy Lin. You got the victory. Everything works out. You climb a little bit in the standings, and you feel better about yourself heading into the next game. So let's talk about that next game. It's coming up 2 days from now. Friday, December 16th will take place in Orlando, Florida against the Orlando Magic. It will it will get ready to go at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and I'm sure it will be carried on the Yes Network and NBA League Pass. Orlando is not a great team. They have some talent, but really they're not that good. They're 11 and 16 right now. That's a winnable game. Now, they do have talent. I'm not saying that the Nets are just going to walk in and win, because that's not what it is. But Orlando is, they're a beatable team. And they're beatable even for somebody like the Nets. The Nets just, hopefully Jeremy can play. If he needs to rest him. Hopefully Jeremy can play. That will definitely increase the likelihood that the Nets would win. But whatever, even if he doesn't play, it's still a game that can be won. And this team needs victories right now more than anything else, along with good health. But the health is relatively good. I mean, you only got one player dinged up a little bit. That's Jeremy, and hopefully it's not too bad. So it's time for this team to start kind of coming together and, as we've mentioned in the previous videos, kind of trim the fat a little bit. Don't play Randy Foye as much. Don't play Luis Scola as much. Get the young guys in there. Let them do their thing. Run and gun. Substitute a lot, and so forth. And that's what they did tonight, and they were able to get something out of it, and that's really good. That's it. That's really all I have to say about this game. I'm going to keep it relatively short. Look, it's just good. Let's just one game at a time, and let's just try to win. The more victories we can rack up now, the more that's going to kind of be in the piggy bank once things start getting even better and better for this team. And as I mentioned before, December 15th is really when the NBA trading season picks up. So that is tomorrow, and hopefully, I'm not going to sit here and tell you the Nets are going to make some instant deal or anything, because I don't think they're going to. The biggest asset that Brooklyn has right now is probably Brook Lopez. Is he going to get dealt? I have no idea. But because of the way the team was managed before Sean Marks was a general manager, the Nets don't have a lot of other assets. They've traded away first-round picks and other things. Now, they can trade players they have right now, and besides Brook, one of the things Coach Atkinson said in a post-game press conference was the team has a lot of wing players, meaning players who play shooting guard and small forward. If they feel like they've got a surplus of wing players, then you might trade a wing player to get an established backup point guard, or to get another big man who can shoot from the outside. We'll have to see. But as I said, I think the best is yet to come for Brooklyn this season. Right now, again, there's nothing to really hope for except for Jeremy to be healthy, and then let's just roll the balls out there and let's play, because this team should be able to get some things done and should be able to increase their chemistry going forward. Okay, hope you're having a great night or great day wherever you are around the world when you watch this video. Take care. We will talk to you again soon, less than 48 hours from now. Brooklyn Nets travel on the road down to Florida against the Orlando Magic. We'll be here, and have a great 40 hours or whatever it is between now and then, and we will talk to you again